There's no question that since I moved 20 years ago to the United States, I got quite the glimpse of the American dream. When I moved here, I barely spoke any English. I had a middle school diploma, not even a high school diploma. I knew exactly zero people in this country. I had no stage parents, no fame whatsoever of my own. And after years of struggling and doors closed in my face and who do you think you are in Italy, within 6 months I was student of the year at a big school in Los Angeles. I had 10 different offers for collaborations, jobs, bands. Within a year I was signed by a major label. Then I was playing on TV, I was arranging orchestras, scoring movies. And then 5 years later I moved to New York from Los Angeles, and there I met and worked with and recorded with and toured the world with all my childhood idols, had the absolute time of my life, and by 32 basically I ran out of things to cross out of my bucket list. Things that the 11-year-old me would have thought just funny, like ludicrous ideas. I owe it all to this country and to the relentless generosity and openness of the people that I encountered, the people that were ahead of me on the food chain, on the ladder, always willing to help and open a door for someone that was just willing to work hard, absolutely regardless of my background in any possible way. And what that is the proverbial social mobility that the American dream offers. But I think one aspect of the social mobility that is not quite talked about as much, and that was surprising for me to realize, social mobility means that you have extreme possibility of climbing the ladder up, of reaching higher status in a certain profession. But it means just the same or more that you have extreme possibility of going down the ladder. The mobility means an agility that allows you today to be on top of the hill and 3 months from now, a month from now, to be almost forgotten, to stop overnight receiving phone calls, job offers. The United States are so exciting because anything can happen overnight. But a defining characteristic of the way the American dream works, at least now, is that success, validation, support, safety are always rented. They're never owned. You never get to a point where you've earned your place in X area. It's always about what have you done in the last 6 months? Maybe a year if you're really big. And as long as you're able to keep up with that pace, things are gonna be okay. But you don't need to do something wrong to get down the ladder. All you need to do is be maybe idle for 3 or 6 months, to just focus on something else in your life. And then, if you do it for 4 or 5 years, you're basically gone. In Italy, I would see incredibly talented people just hit a wall and do absolutely nothing and eventually have to give up, or some version of giving up, just because it was that impossible, especially in the arts. In the United States, the thing I've seen over all these years is that I'll see these incredibly talented people reaching amazing places and being so excited, but also seemingly out of nowhere transition into forgotten territory, into has-been territory, into stale flavor we don't care anymore. And I think that's very American. That's a very non-European thing to happen. Maybe because it's easier to reach higher places in your career, they're valued less. In Europe, if you get to do certain things, it means that you were so insanely and relentlessly committed to that path that maybe people have a different sense of putting you on a pedestal or of respecting you even through the hard times. I feel that in the US, any false move, any slipping on a banana moment immediately closes the door. The silver lining is that because it's so common, people don't judge you for it as much. You're going through a dry spell, you're going through hard times. People have a little bit more of a sense of like, he'll figure it out. It's just gonna be patient. The bad news is that it's so dramatically common that the chances are that if you come to the United States and you start your adventure here, sooner or later you're gonna find yourself in a ditch. For a while, until you figure out how to get out of it. And that, of course, is helped by the lack of healthcare, the much less tight family relationships, the huge distances so that you're never half an hour from your parents' home regardless. So in Europe, it's impossible to get anywhere, but if you do get somewhere, you have this sort of tenure that keeps you there forever and ever. In the US, you can enter the country and 6 months later do something insane, but then a week later lose it all. So I suppose the moral of the fable is, if you ever get anywhere, save everything you can, because it's not a matter of if you're gonna go through a dry spell, it's just a matter of when. That's also part of the American dream experience.